Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here. I am Jeffrey Kirby. As you can see, as of this moment, I am currently solo. Jarryd is going to be here. We were having technical difficulties with his camera. I don't know what the hell was going on. His camera was like having seizures or something. But yeah, he was restarting his computer because apparently his computer seems like it's from like the 1970s. I don't even think computers were around then, but you know what? We'll just roll with it. But first and foremost, how are you guys doing? It's going to be a fun episode. We got a couple things we want to talk about, and then obviously when Jarryd does get in here, we're going to have some fun because we're going to do a NFL mock draft simulator. And we're going to do some different things with this. And the exercise with this is going to be, we want to look at, see what kind of different players might be available at 17. Now, we're going to be using PFFs. Maybe if we do this again, we'll use a different draft simulator. But for now, I wanted to use the Pro Football Focus draft simulator. And I wanted to do this because, like I said, I wanted to see who all could possibly be there, who all could just look at the different scenarios of what could happen in terms, because I mean, I've been doing these last couple days and I've gotten so many different scenarios, and I figured this would be something cool to do for everyone to be involved with as well. Watch this, we could all discuss it and figure out maybe in this position, what do we want to do here? And we'll do different scenarios. You know, for the people who want Jordan Addison at 17, we might do Jordan Addison at 17. For us who wants offensive tackles, we'll do that. We'll do corners. We'll do all kinds of different stuff. We're going to have some fun with it. But before we do that, and before Jarryd eventually does get in here, I do want to talk about a couple things in here real quick. And when it comes to the Steelers, and one of them involves Pat Freiermuth. And Pat Freiermuth, who was on the Footballin' podcast with Ben Roethlisberger, I think it was him, Andrew McCutcheon, and Bob Pompiani. It was those three, along with obviously Ben and his producer or someone, whoever the hell it is. And one thing that Pat said was very interesting, and it's something that people had speculated when it came to the Steelers and the offense. And we kind of got some clarity on it. He said that Pat Freiermuth basically said that there was no hot routes or checks at the line of scrimmage. Listen, so when I hear that means there's a couple thoughts that go into my head. Number one, is that just a Matt Canada thing? Is it because he's a rookie? Because Kenny Pickett was a rookie? What is it a combination of both? I'd kind of like to figure out maybe what is it and what is the reason for that. Because if it's just because he's a rookie, it would still annoy me because at the end of the day, he has seen a lot of football. But you know what? We'll try to implement that into this year. Now, if that's just a Matt Canada thing, he just doesn't do that, we're going to run with whatever, then that is one of those things that, again, is going to piss us off as Steeler fans. And for parts of the media, Steeler fans, whatever you are, if you like the Steelers or cover the Steelers, that is something that would absolutely annoy the hell out of you. Because and this would especially be something for the red zone. And what is something that Art Rooney talked about we needed to get better at was in the red zone. What did Tomlin say? In the red zone. You need to be better in the red zone. And how do you do that? One of the things that you can do is implement checkdowns, implement hot routes, implement different things. Because if Kenny could go up to the line of scrimmage and notice there's a certain coverage, the flats are going to be open. Okay, maybe I can check someone go to the flats, or have a hot route or something like that to help. That would be one of those things that would be very, very, very effective in this offense, because for an NFL offense to not have checks or hot routes is absolutely abysmal. It is an atrocity. I'm going to start using I'm going to start pulling out my Stephen A. Smith vocabulary. My dictionary of Stephen A. Smith. It's an abomination. It's an atrocity. To not, in an NFL offense, not have some sort of check down, some sort of hot route. I mean, you have this in college. Hell, in some high school offenses, you might get that. You need to implement some of those things, because if you want to help this offense elevate to what it has been for the last 3 years plus 4 years actually, then now you have to pull out all the tricks. You need to do whatever it is. And this is why, like, I feel like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth on a couple things. Because on one hand, it pisses me off that Matt Canada is back. And then when I hear comments like you add more to the fire on why we're all pissed off that he's back. But on the other hand, I do feel like I have to try to give it, like, I have to mentally tell myself, listen, you have to see what's going to happen with Matt Canada when he will have a year where he can actually adapt, he can actually adapt to the quarterback, because obviously in year one, it was Ben Roethlisberger, and then you knew you were going to have to transition to Kenny Pickett. So now this will be the first year under Matt Canada being offensive coordinator. Well, you'll actually have some sort of continuity where the quarterback and the offensive coordinator are working together for the second straight year. You haven't had that. So at the end of the day, I would like to see what they could work out together. Figure out, get them together. Figure out what kind of plays do they like? What kind of plays do they not like? Maybe do they open things up? Maybe do they add new things to the playbook? Adding hot routes and check downs could be a start. But, just doing different things like that. That would be things that I would be looking for. And it's just shit like this that just pisses me off, man. Like, it's just shit like that pisses you off, because there is nothing, and it looks like Jarryd is going to be trying to get in here. And if worse comes to worse, you may not see him, but the audio has been fine with him. It's just the camera. We're going to try to get him on camera, and if it doesn't work, well then, you guys will just see my big ugly face, and then we'll go and then you'll still be able to hear Jarryd. All right, let's transition you over, and obviously you're gonna see him. There we go.
Oh,
there we go, Jarryd. Jarryd,
right.
How in the hell are you?
Dizzy, man. As expected.
As expected. Okay. You know what? Here's what we'll do. We're gonna put it on my big ugly face right here, and then we'll just kind of everyone will be able to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just going to be, obviously, they'll just see my big ugly mug. But you'll still be obviously a part of the conversation. So before you got in here, I was talking about the Pat Freiermuth comments that were talking about how there was no hot reads and there was no checkdowns in the offense.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't really read into that. I was not aware of that.
Okay, so on the Football and Podcast, Pat Freiermuth was on with Andrew McCutcheon and Bob Pompiani, and they were on the Football and Podcast with Ben Roethlisberger, and he talked about how there was no checkdowns, there was no hot routes in the offense. That's all it was. Based on those words that I just said, that Pat Freiermuth said, what are your initial thoughts?
Why wasn't that there? Why did Matt Canada lie to us, I guess, basically? Just tell us that Kenny wasn't basically in charge of the offense, which we kind of knew, but can't do like a, check out of it.
That was my thing that kind of pissed me off, was like, first and foremost, you're an NFL offense. Or supposed to be, at least. I mean, for me, for those that have been following me, you know that I've been saying that this is a Friday-ish offense. So, I mean, in that case, it's a high school offense. Hell, I'm pretty sure when I was in high school, we had checkdowns and hot routes. So, I mean, it's just one of those things that pisses me off because you were an NFL offense and you don't have hot routes or checkdowns. I mean, this would be something that I could see Mike Vrabel doing with, like, Malik Willis or something. Where apparently this seems like they have zero faith in Malik Willis whatsoever. That is something I can see. Kenny Pickett was a first-round quarterback who was a 24-year-old rookie who has seen a lot of football. You're meaning to tell me that you can't implement some sort of hot route or check down? That means one of two things. Either they really do not feel that comfortable about Kenny Pickett deep inside. I don't think that's the case. Or B, this is just Matt Canada being Matt Canada. And that was something that I had questioned. Was it because there was no, because he was just, because Kenny Pickett was a rookie? Or was it because, well, this is just how Matt Canada is? And if it is answer B, then we have more reasons to add to the fuel of fire of being pissed off because he is here.
Oh man, I don't know anymore, man. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
We're in February.
Literally.
We are in February, and this is where we're at. And people wonder why we like talking drafts, because at least draft won't get me pissed off like this. Because each and every week, it is always something that I feel like there hasn't been a show in the last month that hasn't gotten me pissed off in some sort of fashion or way.
Very true.
I mean, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I think I went on about 17 and a half rants in the span of an hour. Last week, I think I might have went on one. This one, I don't think, there may not be a rant on here this one, like it's been on those. No. But, I mean, we'll see. If something pops up that pisses me off that I feel like needs to be talked about, we'll definitely get into that. But obviously, like I was telling everyone else, later on in the show, we are going to do a NFL mock draft simulator. We're going to have some fun with that. We're going to have a whole lot of fun with that. But I do, is that all you have on that?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't really paying attention much to it. So, I wasn't, aware of it, honestly.
Okay. So, here's another thing, too, that was interesting. So, I was looking into, we have the cap number for the NFL. And depending on where you look, there are some sites that are saying that we're 4.2 million over the cap. There's some that are saying that we have like $1 million in cap. So I'm looking, and I'm gonna go on a I'm gonna pull up. We're gonna have some fun here. We're gonna pull up a NFL or Steelers cap space 2023. We're going to have some fun with this. We're going to have some fun. So, according to Spot Track, whatever, it's saying that we are manage roster. It's saying that I think we're about 4 million over the cap, according to them. Okay? So here are some things that you can do if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. First and foremost, we're going to take William Jackson III and that $12.1 million cap figure that he has. We're just going to toss that the hell out of here. We're going to get rid of that. We're releasing him pre-June 1st cap or cut.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's one of those cuts that most likely will happen more than anything.
Okay,
personally,
so when you do that, say you are 4 million over the cap. So now you're at close to 8 million. You have 7.8 million in cap space, okay? Another thing that you could do, you could cut if they wanted to. Well, you know what? Here, I'll just give you the cap casualties pre-June 1st, and what you can save on them. So William Jackson III, you could save about 12 million. Miles Jack, $8 million. Mitch Trubisky, $8 million. Ahkello Witherspoon, $4 million. Montravius Adams, $2.5 million. And Gunnar Olszewski, $2 million. So out of those 6 players, you could create some significant cap.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
definitely
obviously,
can with.
I mean, when I say those 6 players, who's the one player that you... I mean, Miles Jack would probably...
Miles Jack, yeah.
Would be probably the one that I would want to keep the most out of that group.
Everyone else can go.
Everyone else can go, but we all know that's not going to happen. So,
but it can happen. Don't say it never can happen.
I also can lose
Don't say
weight,
never.
but we also see how that's going. The Orlando Magic could win a championship this year. We all know how that's going to go.
It's okay. Yeah, that's not happening this year. Maybe in a couple of years.
I had to get my little dig in there. But okay. The one I would really like to see outside of William Jackson would be obviously Mitch Trubisky. I would like to see him go. Because when you release him, so you
That's
cut
20
his
million
ass.
almost. Well, 16.
Huh?
Is that 16 million right there?
Yeah, 15.8 million. So right there, you would be able, just between those two, you would be able to at least re-sign Cam Sutton.
At least.
At least. And maybe bring back, someone like a Terrell Edmonds or a DeMonte Casey, somewhere in that range. Now, I don't think it would be
both.
But
You never know.
another thing that you could do is obviously try to restructure Cam and TJ and Minka's contracts.
Which I see that happening.
Okay, so out of those 3, who do you think would be most willing to restructure?
Ooh, most willing? Maybe Cam.
Okay. Also, shout out to
say
Cam. He commented on one of my posts today, so shout out to Cam. Okay, so we'll restructure him. So on Spot Track, he goes now to $14.9 million. Now you're at $23 million in cap space. So you save about $7 million restructuring Cam's contract. Now you can have obviously you're not going to get the Tremaine Edmonds that we've all been hyping up and having fun with, quote unquote pushing narratives, something that I've been doing with that. But it does add you a little bit of flexibility to bring back some of the people that you want to bring back. If you really do want to bring back Cam Sutton, if you could get him at what 2 years, 2 years
I'd
at
say
what
2
$7 million,
2 to 3 at most.
So okay,
Yeah.
So basically, say
I
what
think
Mike
they might
Hilton
give him
got
like
in
8 or
Cincinnati.
9 at most. If he asks for 10, there's not going to get him back.
Oh
There's
no! If
way.
he asks for 10, goodbye.
But I'm saying what reasonable. I'm thinking like 8 million, maybe 9 at most.
Like if you could get him at what Cincinnati got Mike Hilton for, 3 for 21, which was 7 a year, that would be something that I would be more than willing to do. So it's like, okay, so now you add. So now you get him at what, 7 million. So now you have about 16 million or so in cap. Now, obviously, you don't want to spend to the absolute limit. Obviously, you got to try to prepare for some things, future down the line. Now, can you go and you still want to go and try to get someone like DeMonte Casey? You want to bring him back? Do you want to bring back someone like a Terrell Edmonds, which is something I would love to see them do? At this point, unless all 3, TJ and Minka, were to restructure. So say and that's the case, which I'm doing right now, actually, as we speak.
If that happens,
If that was the case, and obviously in this case we're talking a very big hypothetical. And also, by the way, if anyone is in the comments actually commenting, I'm not seeing them right now because I'm on a different different tab. So if anyone is commenting, I will get to them at some point. So in this case, if you were to restructure Cam, that saved about 7 million. If you restructure TJ, you can maybe save about 12 million, and if you restructured Minka, you could get about 10 million. So between those, you would have there almost 46 million in cap. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not.
Imagine though.
Now, imagine if they were to keep Mitch Trubisky at that 10 million something cap hit or whatever, 8 million cap hit, but still let go of William Jackson, you would still have over close to 38 million in cap.
It's all those likely scenarios that can happen. It's just what they do with it is what is the question.
And here's the thing. The kind of flexibility that you can have based on what you want to do in the draft, which we will do here in a little bit. Obviously, that's going to be based on what they do in free agency, or based on what they do in free agency. Well, obviously, with the cap space or with the draft. If they were to go on, not I'm saying they're going to, but say they were going to go and get one of the top left tackles in the NFL. Okay, well then we're probably not going to draft a left tackle at 17. So now you can add on to other positions. Were you to go and get a linebacker? Okay, well then maybe you won't have to prioritize it as much. Corner, I just feel like corner is going to be something that they'll just end up getting in the draft.
I definitely, they're not gonna sign another corner. I think they re-signed Cam, and they definitely draft a corner.
Yeah,
within those first 3 picks for sure.
Which is something that's going to be very interesting because I was updating, some of my stuff for the NFL draft, and there are, let's me pull it up here on my phone. There are 7 possible corners that could go in the first round. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the case. There's not
over under is 3.5. That's how I see it. I could see 4.
Well, I'm just like, say for example, these are the names that I have seen in mock drafts going in the first round: Joey Porter Jr. and Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M is one of those weird positions where I've seen him as a corner and I've also seen him as a safety, so he's one of those kind of hybrid guys.
Okay.
I mean, there's still Keely Ringo, but I don't think at this point as of now, I don't see him going in the first round.
Ooh, he could be around 2 still.
Cam Smith from South Carolina. Your boy, Christian Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Branch from Alabama. And then there's also Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. So there are 6 to 7 corners that are going to be going in the first round. That could possibly go. Those are possibilities of ranges of players that could possibly go. Obviously, all 7 of them are not going to go, or 6 of them are not going to go. So at the end of the day, you could definitely go and get one of those guys at either pick, 32 or 49, or one of the, one of those 2 picks.
Yep.
You would be able to, and I would prefer for them to do it at pick 32. Go and get themselves some, like, if Cam Smith, if that's who if they're eyeing, if they like him, go and he's available, or someone like a Devin Witherspoon. I mean, or do they really like someone? Like, are they really into a Joey Porter Jr.? Are they really into a Christian Gonzalez? Are they really into one of those guys? And if Christian Gonzalez is there at 17, do they feel the temptation to want to go with him there? A possibility of getting a value tackle at pick 32.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I think the other thing that's interesting about this is the rise of a couple new tackles that could possibly go in. Maybe it went from a mid to late second round pick that could go possibly early second, even maybe a late first. I'm a big Ohio State fan. DeJuan Jones is one of those guys that has been having who had a phenomenal Senior Bowl from what I've seen.
I've seen Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin was right there. You got
Very
Cody Mock, however, if I'm pronounced, from North Dakota State. He's a guy that's been kind of rising a little bit. So he's a guy that could possibly sneak into that late first round or be there in that mid to early second round. So you have guys like that. So that's where the flexibility really comes into play here on what you want to do, with some positions being a little bit deeper than others. It's just all matter of what Andy Weidel and Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin want to do. But yeah, that's where the kind of flexibility here is going to be really fun.
Comment from Steel Black. He said, from Tomlin watching corner, D-line, and O-line, in that order, you see his priority. Which I think in no order.
Okay, so he's saying in that order: corner, D-line, and O-line.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, obviously those three positions, I would love, obviously, with the first three, you and me are in agreement. Corner,
Yeah.
offensive tackle. Those are two positions that you and me are in agreement.
Agreed.
Now,
the third one it could be.
Now, what do they want to prioritize after? Do they want to prioritize linebacker or interior defensive line? What do they want to do there? I would be okay with either or. Because there are some guys that could, because we need to get younger in that interior of the defensive line.
Oh yeah.
But we also need to upgrade at linebacker as well, depending, because we all know Devin Bush is long gone. We want to say him goodbye. We're shipping his ass off as far as humanly possible.
You never know.
We want it. You know what? We have a spot here. We have a spot.
I'm gonna be wrong.
I wish it was an island. I wish it was an island, and it could just be the people that we want to ship off as far away from the city of Pittsburgh Island. And that island, as of now, would consist of Devin Bush, Mason Rudolph, and Matt Canada.
I was just saying, we're Devin Bush. We'll see what happens. But, I don't want him to leave, but...
Oh, you don't want him to leave?
I don't want him to leave, man. Even though
hold on. That's a tweet right there.
No, you already quoted me a tweet last time.
I don't think about that one. I don't think it was about that.
Yes, it was.
I don't think so. You might be
I
right.
said I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Bush would leave.
Or come back?
Or come back. That's what I meant. Yes, it comes back to the Steelers next season.
Let me see, because I don't remember.
Which is very, like I said, I'm probably going to be dead wrong, but you never know. I want to be the 1% if that happens. And said I called it. But, I could be dead wrong.
Let me see here. I got to find this. Oh, yeah, you did. Okay, you were right. You know what? I'll just quote tweet it. He just doubled down on this.
He's going to be cheap if you don't want to. Well, he's not going to be asking for a lot. He knows it.
I'm pulling out the injured Filipponi in me.
Yeah, I'm a clown. Oh, my goodness. Around the 412 just called me, huh? Clown.
Oh, what's good, Smitty? What's good, Tyler? Listen, I'm glad that someone here actually recognized this because holy shit. What the hell kind of statement is that? I want
Steel
Devin
Black.
Bush
It could be right. He could be resigned and traded later, which that's an option.
I mean, Bush could be re-signed and later traded. Listen, I don't think that's the case because he's not going to have any trade value at that point. I mean, he's already hogwash at this point.
Listen, I want to still have faith in Devin Bush, man.
Yeah, I want to still have faith. You know what? I want to have faith in Smitty actually growing 4 inches. I want to have faith in me losing weight. I want to have faith in the Cleveland Cavaliers doing something. I want to have faith in that the Pittsburgh Penguins might not give everyone heartaches. I'd like to have faith in Tristan Jarryd actually staying on the ice. I could go on and on and on. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, we know. But listen, I'm probably going to be dead wrong, but that's how I am.
Oh, hold on. Nope.
Please.
That is.
Hey, that's temptation right there.
Hold on. Now I gotta go. Never mind.
I'm on Jarrod's side now. Hey, if you see what I'm saying, Smitty or Tyler, come on, Devin Bush is going to be cheap. If which linebacker in the mid rounds would you go for that you're going to be most confident with? I'm sure it's still too early as of right now.
I mean, this is something that you could possibly think about as well. If you're looking at linebacker, you could go with someone like a Drew Sanders or a Trenton Simpson. If you could get them as one of those early second round picks, I would be very okay with that. Because we know, now there are some people that don't value linebacker as much. We know damn well that the Pittsburgh Steelers have always valued linebackers. They value that pick because they feel like it's a very important piece of that to their defense. So at the end of the day, if you're going to be willing, if they feel like there's a guy that they can put in there, be a plug-and-play guy that could be an immediate impact, why not? It's a position of need.
It's true. It's very true.
I only said that because of the 4-inch pause comment, but I guarantee you he's not back. Spillane, on the other hand, yeah, I agree with that because I do agree. For some odd reason, they love Robert Spillane, and if they were to let go of Robert Spillane right now, all you would be left with is, Miles Jack, which I know on Around the 412, I listened to your guys' podcast earlier today. You guys mentioned the same thing that we mentioned earlier about, the cap casualty thing. And I agree with something that you guys said where out of the list that we all had, Miles Jack would probably be a guy that we would want back the most. But, at $8 million, that's a little iffy there based on what the kind of production that we got from him last year. But at the end of the day, it's who else would you have? Even if you were to bring, Miles Jack does come back. Even if it is Robert Spillane and Mark Robinson, do you really trust that much? I don't know if I do.
No. Hell no.
There you go.
Sorry. Why not? That's why you re-signed Devin Bush back.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Put him on a prove it deal 1 year. Come on.
Listen, I can understand. Like I completely understood giving out a Terrell Edmonds, that kind of deal, because yet again I was one of those people that believed in Terrell Edmonds. I don't think there's many people on this planet who believe still in Devin Bush. And if you are, I want to know whatever kind of drugs that you're taking, because whatever drugs you're taking, holy shit, I need them. Yeah, they're not rolling with Spillane or Robinson, LMAO. Yeah, not a chance in hell. And he says, calling my shot that TJ Edwards or Kaiser White will be a Steeler. Woo.
That's possible. That's possible.
You know what? I'm gonna put that in the in my bookmarks. And then when that does happen, I can give you guys the credit for it.
And that's very true. Someone's going to get franchise tag. I don't know if they'll use the franchise tag this year. That's a very good one. I don't know if they will. Maybe Cam Sutton, but they want to. But that's not exactly. But who would franchise tags? That's what I'm saying. They don't have to. I don't think they franchise tag anybody.
Hold on, I'm putting a tweet out there. On the Renegade Roundtable podcast.
Is Devin Bush considered a bust as of now?
Oh yeah,
man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Don't let the Devin Bush lover himself, Jarryd Sanchez.
Oh man, I don't want to consider him a bust, man.
Yeah,
if he balls out somewhere else,
I don't either. But guess what? He is
upset. I swear, if he leaves and balls out somewhere else,
you know what? Here, I'll put it this way. Justin Mize, he's a Cleveland Browns fan. Here, I'll put it this way. A lot of Browns fans didn't want to consider Baker Mayfield a bust, but guess what? They kind of had to because, you see how that went out for him.
Yeah, it's true. But he won him a playoff game.
Yet again, it was against us, and even worse, he was at my house watching it with me, so that was very, very, very painful. That was like right when I'm pretty sure that was like right when I got to start knowing you guys, like when I really got into Steelers Twitter, because that's when I first got into the old group chat.
Yeah, it's possible. I feel like it's been longer, but it is what it is. Anyways, we'll see how this linebacker, like I said, I forgot they could definitely sign a linebacker, but I just don't see it. It's very possible. It just like those two names that pop out that Around the 412 said it's very possible. I just didn't know who was in free agency. Like I said, I haven't had time to look at anything because with this new job. So once
fired.
The Super Bowl's once Super Bowl's over, I'm gonna try to get more into it, of course.
Okay, I got a book or tweet in my bookmarks ready to go. So, why is Bush no good? So here, I'll give you.
Oh my God! Here we go.
You know what? Here, we're gonna play the exercise of I'm gonna give my reason, and then we're gonna put the #1 Devin Bush fan club member Jarryd Sanchez and we're gonna have him answer why is he no good. Let's see. His rookie year he was actually pretty damn good. He was actually flying around the field, making tackles. That was great. Second year he tore his ACL, and then after that it just looked like he couldn't. He just couldn't tackle. He couldn't cover. He looked like he was lost out there. He looked like a lost puppy. He looked like he didn't want to be out there at times. It was all bad. I mean, excuse me, I got the hiccups.
I still want to blame his ACL, man. I still want to, but I can't anymore. I feel like those.
Look at you trying to find excuses. Oh my God!
Listen, man.
You know what? I do have a tweet for everyone. I found someone who is a part of the Devin Bush fan club. ... His name is @boss_Sanchez98. Boom.
What? Yeah, I've been a big fan since that trade happened at draft night. I could tell you that.
Well, listen. I mean, so Justin was with me when the very first year that we covered the NFL draft. It was that year, the year that they. And don't get me wrong, I was ecstatic at the time that we got him.
Oh, of course,
I was happy. I mean, I think we all were because it was rare for them to trade up, because that was something that they hadn't done since Troy Polamalu. So that was something. And then I was like, okay, we needed a linebacker. Because we were still waiting for that linebacker past Shazier. So we knew we needed that. So when we got him, we're like, okay, he was someone who was a pretty good linebacker for Michigan. I hate giving Michigan credit. Herb, there you go. I gave you some credit there. But, shout out to Herb, by the way. He was someone that we needed. Because it was between, at the end of the day, Devin Bush or Devin White. We kind of figured that Devin White was going to go ahead of us, as he did to Tampa Bay, and now he's been one of their better players on defense. Us getting Devin Bush at the time was a very good pickup for us, and we were ecstatic as a fan base for the most part. Now, there were some people that were trying to say, now God rest his soul, and Dwayne Haskins. I remember some people saying we needed to draft him. And I mean, at that time, I was just like, no, because, hey, this was also before the Big Ben injury, the elbow injury, and Ben Roethlisberger had just passed for 5,000 yards and was the leading thrower in the NFL, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
he had the most yards. So at the end of the day, that wouldn't have made sense. It strictly would not have made sense. Yeah.
If Devin Bush becomes a top 10 linebacker somewhere else, I'll be very upset. But, it is what it is.
No, I don't think. I just don't simply think, unless it would be a team that was like super desperate and he ends up just becoming a linebacker. He said, Cam Sutton re-signing, by the way. Is that a kind of like is that a report, or is that you calling?
Is that you just saying it?
Because
I'm pretty sure it's happening.
Well, don't get me wrong, and I agree with you. If that's what you want, I agree with you 100%. We need to bring Cam Sutton back. If you want to talk about the players that we need to bring back as a free agent, he right now is number one. For me personally, it goes number one, Cam Sutton, number two, Terrell Edmonds, number three, DeMonte Casey. The rest can go to hell. In my opinion, the rest could go to hell. Those are the three that I want to see. So some guys just don't recover from ACL injuries like others. It's sad, actually. Yeah, and yeah, like you said, there's some people that could come back from it very quickly and come back like nothing happened, and then there's just some people who are never the same.
I see what you're saying, but okay.
Interesting. Okay. I'm liking that. I'm liking that comment because, yeah, we need to bring him back because at the end of the day, we went out and got Levi Wallace. Now, Levi Wallace is not one of those guys who is a top corner in the NFL, but he came from Buffalo, and I'm like, okay, that wasn't a bad pickup. I like that pickup from the jump, and then he came out and kind of balled out last year. Like, he played pretty well for us.
Ooh, that's a good one. You forgot about Larry O. You want to bring back Larry O?
You know what? I did forget about Larry O. I did.
That's
you know what?
One.
Yeah. Okay, yep, add him in there.
That's four.
Okay, yeah, so there's four. But you know what? I still I would still put him fourth on the list because it's like if we lost Lario, it's not the end of the world.
It's not, but he was big though for us,
He
especially.
was, but I also, like I said, I just feel like at the end of the day, I just feel like I would rather bring. I love the idea, and this is something that, and I'm not sure if yeah, you guys do not need Lario back in the 216. We need him back in the 412. Thank you very much. One thing that I would like to see, and Smitty, I want your opinion on this as well, on the idea of possibly bringing back DeMonte Casey and Tremaine Edmonds, or Terrell Edmonds, my bad, and possibly just making it to where you just play Terrell Edmonds just more in the box, and because at the end of the day, if you're going to have linebacker issues, you have Terrell Edmonds who can play in the box. And you obviously make it can play in the box, but you want him free roaming back at safety. We saw what DeMonte Casey did once he came back from his injury. That would be some sort of flexibility that I would like to see in terms of speed, but also be able to tackle and the coverage ability as well. Now, obviously, yes, you would still like to bring in another linebacker, but in a situation where you kind of need to do that, it's not a bad idea at all.
And I kind of agree. I want Leal to take that spot too, as well. To have him develop.
And that's the reason why I kind of put him fourth, is because at the end of the day, he's not as big of a need because if you want to go with a interior defensive lineman, maybe with that 49th overall pick with that original second that we have, if you want to go with a defensive lineman there. I mean, we obviously don't think that they're going to go with an interior defensive lineman at pick 17. That's just not going to happen. I don't see them doing it at pick 32 unless there was someone that they truly feel like should have been a first-round pick and he wasn't. Maybe. But I don't know. He says that's what they wanted to do all last year before KZ broke his wrist. That's the way to minimize their lack of coverage linebacker. Okay, so if that's what they wanted to do, and then at the end of the day, you could have the ability to do that, because why not? I would like to see that happen. Now, depending on what they do with the linebacker position at free agency, which I don't think they're going to do anything at free agency. So at the end of the day, you would have to bring back someone, get someone in the draft, and you would have to hope that one of those guys. Now, who knows? A lot of guys are hyping up Noah Sewell. We'll see where his value is. I don't know how high I am on him yet. I don't know how high Smitty's on it, or how everyone else who's been watching film on him is, how high they're on him, or how high you are on him, Jarryd. I don't know.
No idea.
I mean, that's another name that you could possibly look into. But yeah, there's a lot of flexibility that you could have here. And I feel like there's another name at linebacker I'm forgetting about. I've given them Saki Akia a couple times, but they only play, or he plays a true nose 40% of the time max. So I don't know if they'd value it enough to do that. Maybe third round, like when they got Hargrave, so pick 80. Jack Campbell, that's the name that I was thinking of. Tyler Love, Sewell, I'm Simpson, Campbell, Sanders, all before Sewell. Yeah, that's probably the role I would be in. I feel like people like Noah Sewell just simply because he's brothers with Penei Sewell.
Oh,
but
yeah, that's what I thought.
But yeah, I would be okay with them going with a defensive lineman. And here after this conversation, we're going to do a NFL draft mock simulator here and go through some different scenarios where I've seen. So wait, you had the guy from Baylor going at what, 17 or at pick 32? Because I could definitely seeing them going with someone like that at pick 32. I just don't see him going with what is it, Ikea? Something like that.
Yeah.
At pick 7. I just don't see them doing it at 17.
No. He's definitely like a late first round, like early second, as it's being projected. Maybe mid second at the worst, but
I think because you have and then you have the guy from Pitt, 32. Okay. I would be very okay with getting him at pick 32. And then you have the other guy from Pitt. Was it Kalijah Cansey or something?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his name. He's a guy that, I mean, what was it? Mel Kiper had him going 10th overall, which I saw that and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, I understand that he might, be rising a little bit, but I don't see him going 10th overall. At least not right now. But I don't know. You know what? Let's have some fun here. Let's go and have some fun. What we're going to do is pronounce Siaki Aika. Okay. Okay, we are back. We're back to recording here. Let's see what happens here. But in the meantime, I want to go through a mock draft simulator here. And I'm going to have it to where we could still see the chat here. I want to go through a mock draft simulator here with you. What the fuck was that, LMAO? I don't know. I've been having a lot of issues with technical difficulties with my computer. But you know what? We're back. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do a mock draft simulator here. We're going to do some different things. Amateur hour over here. You know what? Fuck you, Smitty. It's all love, though.
We're not that big. Joking.
So you know what? Here, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a mock draft. You see my screen, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. You know what? Here, let me get it to where everyone else here on the chat can see it, because I don't have it to where okay, what the hell? Now my entire thing is just going all bonk. Now my OBS is going bonkers. Let me see here. Let me see what's going on.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to fucking OBS, where everything's just been going straight to hell. Why can't we see? Jarryd's camera was messing up earlier.
Yo, you want to try? I'll put it on.
In this case, we wouldn't be able to do it anyway.
Oh yeah, so you won't even see me. So
yeah, that's why. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if you guys can see the I don't know, like my OBS just like went completely. I miss his face. You know what? Obviously, we're hoping next week to do it, and if so, I know. We'll try. I don't know what happened. Okay. I'm pretty sure something updated, and then my camera just decided not to work. Yeah, went straight to hell. Okay, for some odd reason, my OBS is just not wanting to work out. So, let me see if I'm trying to make it to where. Oh, you know what? Here, hold on. You guys are seeing something else I don't want you guys seeing here. Let's see, because my computer just went straight to hell. Okay, here we go. Video capture, window capture. Here we go. NFL mock draft simulator. Let's go. Let's see if that works now. Let's see if you guys are seeing what I want you guys to see now. Video capture. Like I said, I apologize, you guys. I gotta work on this because everything is just. Okay, I guess not. I guess we may not be able to do this. I might have to restart the stream and do this a different way, because I wanted to do a mock draft stream, but then my computer went straight to hell. So you know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to restart the stream, and then we're going to make it all work. So obviously go and click the notification bell.